Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a little cultivating. So this is the first time that I'm going to be using the machine the way I'm using it. And you can see over here the corn is starting to come up, right? That's the corn, but you'll see that there's like other stuff starting to also grow in the grass. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to basically mix up the dirt around where the corn is growing, basically to kill off the grass, right? We're going to kind of dig up the grass, and then this way the grass doesn't rob the corn of any nutrients. Now, I mean, if you got like a little 10 by 10 area in your backyard, you can kind of do it, with a garden hoe. But if you're trying to do this on a larger scale, you can't do this by hand, because by the time you go through it once and get all the grass out, when you get to the end, basically the grass is already starting to grow back in the beginning, because it's going to take you a couple of days to do it. Okay, so let me move over here to this is the cornfield. Let me take you over to the pumpkin field. And the pumpkin field has some other stuff in there, like eggplants, cucumbers, watermelons, cantaloupes. So I put that over on this side. Oh, by the way, as far as the corn goes, what happens is once the corn starts getting a little bit higher, it's going to block out the sunlight. So at some point, once the corn gets, past a foot and a half, it's going to block out the sun, and then the grass that's growing is not going to get enough sunlight, and then it's going to, stop growing. Okay, so that's how we deal with that, because obviously at a certain point you can't just keep pulling the weeds out. Okay, so let's go back to this area over here. We're going to work with this area first over here, just because it's a little bit smaller. Do a test run over here. So if you look in this area over here, again, you can start to see how some of the, I just did this new row over here. I don't know if I might plant something there, I don't know. But you can see the pumpkin is starting to come up, right? Little pumpkin there. So yeah, you can definitely see how the pumpkins are coming up, but then other stuff's starting to growing around it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to basically cultivate those weeds out. And what I'm going to be using is this everything attachments garden better. All right. So over here, the way I'm set up, because this is how I planted it, right, where I have the discs set up over there to make the row, and then I got the sweeps on the side that follow the tire tracks and break up the ground there, so it doesn't get too compact. So this is the furrowing attachment. This is what makes that row to where I plant the seeds. Okay, and drop them in nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to remove this piece right here, all right, and then run through it with the garden better, and that's going to disturb the ground and move the grass. But what I want to do is, before I do that, I want to go through this new road that I'm making one more time. This way you guys can see how this works. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, so now I'm going to go through it once with the, this is a new row, nothing's been planted there. I'm going to go through it with the garden better with the furrowing attachment on, so you guys can see how that works. Okay, so you see how that furrowing attachment basically goes down the middle here and creates a row over here where I could basically just run my seeder through and drop my seeds, and then with a rake I just quickly go through it and cover it up. Okay, so that's really fast and efficient. The nice thing is, it's when you're running through here, basically all you gotta do is follow your tire tracks. Right? So you go through it once, Usually you gotta go through at least twice. So you're just following your tire tracks, and that's always gonna make you a nice straight line. So that's how that works out. So let's come back here. Point you down over here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna remove this piece because I want to go through all the other fields where stuff is growing. And here's the wrench. Let's take out this wrench over here. And the challenge here is not dropping this on your toe, okay? I'm pretty close a couple of times, and most of the time I'm wearing like boots. Right now I'm wearing sandals, so we're gonna be extra careful not to drop this on our toe. All right, so loosen that up. So this always just drops and and it kind of falls back. So there we go. Get you out, tighten you up a little bit. All right, and I'm gonna put this off to the side. Hold on, put this over here. One of the most useful things you can put on the back of your tractor is an ammo can to put your tools in. Because they never put enough places. They don't put in toolboxes. It came with this toolbox here, but that's way too small for the type of tools that you need. Put this down for a minute. All right, so we're gonna situate you guys over here. So like I said, the nice thing is all I gotta do is follow my tire tracks. And basically everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out. So we'll start back here on this row over here. I'm gonna run through. Okay, so again, we're cultivating here. We're trying to get the weeds out. So yeah, let's take a closer look at that. So you can see how basically pulled up the dirt, threw a little bit more towards the center, left the plants that are growing pretty undisturbed. I mean, it's going to cover them up a little bit, but that's fine. They'll still push through that. I made 2 passes. Again, I'm trying to figure out, like, I make 1 pass, 2 passes, but this is you can see the difference here compared to, let's say, over here where I didn't go through, where you can see all that other green stuff, you know, all the other grass starting to grow through it. So so this is a really quick, efficient way to cultivate, and this was really the biggest problem that I had with the way I was doing it, because prior to getting this piece over here, this garden better, weeding it was a real problem. Trying to figure out how to get, you know, I could do everything else, but I couldn't get the weeds out in an efficient way, and this is making it work for me. Now, one of the things I did buy is I did buy some extra sweeps. So if I see that I'm really not getting to the weeds for whatever reason, I can remove these and I can put in like a second set of sweeps in there to try and get a little bit closer. I do have them, so I'm gonna basically see how this works out, and then kind of go from there. But this is working out pretty good. Takes a lot of the effort out of this, and it allows me to do this on a much larger scale. So one of the differences that I want to talk about is the difference between what I'm doing versus, like, let's say, what you're doing, let's say, in your backyard, or what industrial farmers might be doing. Let me straighten out this camera because it's sitting really straight. All right. So I mean, obviously, if you're doing this in your backyard and you've got like a 10 by 10 area, yeah, you can just use a hoe to get the weeds out. If you're doing this on a commercial scale, where you're doing like whatever, like 50, 100 acres, the way they typically do it is they basically spray everything with weed killer. Okay, now weed killer obviously kills everything, including the crop. So what then they do is they use genetically engineered corn and, you know, pumpkins and all these stuff. You know, all the stuff that they plant is kind of like genetically manipulated so that it is resistant to the weed killer that they put down. So that's not what I'm doing here, right? I'm not spraying the whole place with weed killer and then looking for genetically engineered, you know, seeds to plant. I'm kind of doing it more the old-fashioned way, where, you know, I'm planting and then I'm using the machine to get the weeds out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. Also follow me on Odyssey, which is an uncensored platform. Odyssey is spelled O-D-Y-S-E-E, right? ODYSEE.com, and my channel name over there is Pocono Tactical. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.